Hey, what's that very visionary vibratory film with the verbose, valorous, veiled victim who takes venomous vengeance on vindictive, vile, voracious villains?
Sister Act 2.
No.
Is it V for Vendetta?
Yeah, V for Vendetta. Haven't seen that in forever.
Your whole crew, then Colin and Nels got some movie buff too. It came out in 97, didn't get any better. Well, let's check anyways. I haven't seen that in forever.
Welcome to Haven't Seen That in Forever, where for today we are discussing 2006's V for Vendetta.
Wait a minute. This is episode 12, right?
This is episode 12. It's the last one that Ben can count with his 2 nubs at the bottom and his 10 fingers up top.
I'm out of nubs.
It's an even dozen.
Can you use like your nose next week and get 13?
You could throw an egg at us for every show.
No, that's a waste of eggs.
That's a baker's dozen, right?
We
That's
know
13.
We know how expensive
That's the
eggs
next
are now. We can't do that. We can't be going around wasting eggs, Nelson.
All right.
So this movie has a ton of applauds and a decent amount of critiques. One of the biggest critiques is Natalie Portman's British accent, which I don't think is a hot take because it is a bit jarring. But
hold on. Is Natalie Portman not British?
Yeah, I was very surprised to learn this.
Are y'all learning this right now?
Yeah.
I learned it on researching this that wasn't her actual voice.
Then maybe I'm in the minority here, but no, she's not British. And I think her British accent was pretty jarringly bad.
I did read that people were
Where did she grow
critical
up?
of it. Isn't she Israeli?
Yeah. I think she's lived in the States, but she was born into Israeli parents.
But she's from
The
United
States, yes.
Okay.
But
I did
my
not know
question to y'all would be, I wanted to take a deep inhale there so I could get as much oxygen that wasn't about a dog almost knocking over.
Almost had a mishap with the equipment and a dog.
I was going to challenge y'all to say a line with not a British accent, not just a Cockney accent, your accent of choosing anywhere in Britain. It's up to you.
I love how you think
I
we
think
can
my
do
British
multiple.
dialect was going to be challenged today,
I
but
think
go
there's
for
a
it.
very big difference between British and like Cockney.
There is.
But
Yeah.
let's just go ahead and just say, remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. In a British accent.
So I got to remember lines and do an accent.
That is correctamundo.
No, I was doing an audition. All right.
Who's going first? Because I don't want to.
Oh, and I need to pull this actually up so I can read it.
The words are remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot.
Gunpowder?
Well, some say gunpowder.
You said it incorrect.
Lee. It's an adverb.
Okay, now I have it in front of me and
right,
I can
and-
say it.
Nels is going to go with his British accent. Let's see. We're going to judge if it is or is not better than Natalie Portman's.
Me.
Unique New York. Unique New York.
That's not
Cheerio.
in, that's not in
What? Mate.
That's not in Britain.
Okay. Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason, and plot.
That sounded like Gary Player
I
from-
thought it was actually pretty
from
good.
South Africa.
I thought that was a golfer.
He is.
Oh.
He is a golfer.
I thought it was pretty good.
I don't know that I can do a British accent.
Well, we're about
I'll
to
go
find
next
out.
if you want.
I
You're
wanna
gonna critique
find-
mine. I'm going to name some random golfer and call you him.
You sound like Tiger Woods.
I'm going to go as hard Northern Cockney as I possibly can.
You just
Love
said in
it.
your instructions to not do Cockney.
Oh, I'm saying you don't have to do any one. You can just do whatever
okay.
you want.
Okay.
Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot.
You sound like Dick Van Dyke from Mary Poppins.
I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Mister, do you not understand we're doing V for Vendetta? Also, if we had any friends across the pond listening to this pod, then that was Ben speaking just there, and he apologizes. He'll never do that again, and we promise come back to the pod. No, that was me. That was Colin.
I really don't know that I can do a British accent.
We're about to find out.
Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot.
You sound like Chi-Chi Rodriguez.
I think unironically, though, that was probably the best of all three.
Hey.
Thank you. Was it what was good about it? I want to put it on my resume.
When you said plot, the fact that you didn't say the T was really cool.
Well, yeah, I got it. Well, they don't say to the bottle of water.
There you go.
It's Tuesday, isn't
Who
it?
am I looking at over here?
It's,
Is this Ben?
I'm going to give up now while I'm ahead.
Well, hello, governor.
All right, now we're going to do the entire episode in Jamaican accents.
Oh, God. Canceled immediately.
Canceled.
All right, so I presume I know the answer to this question, but 2006 dystopian thriller V for Vendetta. Have y'all seen it before? When did you first see it? When have you last seen it? Before today or before this viewing?
I have seen it before. I'm pretty positive I saw it in theaters. 2006, I would have been a freshman in college. Well, when in 2006?
No, March.
It should have come out on the 5th of November.
It was supposed to come out on the 5th of November in 2005, which is why a lot of people say this is a 2005 dystopian thriller, but it did not.
So in March of 2006, I was getting ready to finish my freshman year of college. So yeah, I would have seen it in the theater.
Nels?
It did technically get released at something called the Butt Numathon
I saw that. What the hell?
in December of 2005.
Why is it's butt numb?
No, that's what it's called.
Because you're sitting on your butt like we've been doing for hours here talking about movies.
Well, this is we've been here for 10 minutes.
We've been here for 5 minutes.
And my butt's numb from sitting here for 5 minutes.
Oh, well, I can't do anything about your butt.
When did y'all last see it?
Well, I first and last saw it 4 days ago.
Really?
First time again.
Yeah.
Hey. Last time I saw it was about a month ago. I actually watched it unironically before you chose this movie. So when you chose it, I was like, oh, good. I don't have to do any more homework. But I did go back and rewatch some scenes that I thought were impactful and made some notes on them. So we'll see what we think.
So I too saw this in theaters. I mean, it's right up my alley for so many reasons. Hugo Weaving as the star, first of all, he basically is only in nerd movies like The Matrix, Lord of the Rings, which is all right up my alley. But the Wachowski brothers also did the screenplay. So they had sisters, excuse me, had a bit of a background with him there. James McTeague directed it. And James McTeague was the assistant director on the Wachowski sisters' Matrix movies. Side note, were the Matrix trilogy, at least was the original Matrix. Let me just rephrase that entirely. Was the Matrix the most influential movie of its 5 years before and after, like, decade?
Influential in what way?
I mean, it kind of changed the way movies were marketed, shot, filmed, and the bullet time, for example, was from The Matrix.
Well, I know that this is going to be a fairly political episode. I think that we're just not going to be able to get away from that. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. I know that after The Matrix came out, a lot of Republican lawmakers like to blame any violence that ever happened among children under the age of 18 on The Matrix.
Oh, God. Okay.
I mean, when The Matrix came out in 99, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
And Columbine was in 99.
Yeah.
I remember The Matrix and Marilyn Manson being two big points that they love to say caused Columbine.
That's because of they wore trench coats, both. That's it.
For about 5 minutes and they took them off.
Honestly,
So
the
does it still
dusters
count?
look so cool in that movie, though. I've wanted a duster since The Matrix.
I don't know that you can blame violence on a coat.
Oh, no, certainly not. I just want to wear
I've
one.
heard.
But if I imagine, listeners, thank God you don't know what I look like, because if you were to picture me,
He's a handsome man, everybody.
if you were to picture me in a duster and then you put me next to, for example, Keanu Reeves in a duster,
Come on.
What are we doing here?
we're moving on.
Guys, if you put me next to David Beckham, guess what? I'm not as good looking.
I don't look as cool as Keanu in a duster. Well, there's a hot take. Jeez.
So to Ben's point, this is probably going to be a slightly political episode. It's going to be a little polycharred, but by nature of the subject matter,
It's part of the movie.
this came out in a post 9/11 world. And it
We're
was
right in the middle of Bush.
it was written
His second
Operation Freedom or whatever.
run. Whatever.
Operation Mission.
The Iraqi war
Accomplished.
that's still going on. I don't know what's happening.
That's the new iteration.
Okay.
The original graphic novel was written by Alan Moore, which you probably know most famously from the movie Watchmen and the graphic novel Watchmen. He was so upset about the way that Watchmen was delivered to the big screen that he refused to put his name on this, refused credit or even royalties. So he removed his name from this project altogether, which meant that they had to get new people to adapt it from the comic to the big screen, insert the Wachowskis. And in my opinion, thank God they did.
The Watchmen, first ever that I can remember, on-screen blue dong.
I dare say that's the only one I can remember too.
I don't think there's been one since.
Now, I can't forget it.
First and last. Well, yeah, he's 8 feet tall. You're not going to forget it.
Well, I don't think he's 8 feet. I think he's 80 feet tall. So I think there's something that's 8 feet tall.
Scraping the floor.
But as I mentioned, it stars Hugo Weaving as the eponymous V. V is a very complex character, as we will get into. He is not a good guy. He is introduced by his own words as the villain pretty early on.
It's just because it starts with a V.
Yeah.
But
If hero started with a V, he'd be the hero.
He's a
I'm the
fancy
hero.
hero.
Fancy hero.
but you probably also know him as Elrond from Lord of the Rings,
He's vaccinated.
potentially most famous, again involving the Wachowski sisters. You have him as Agent Smith in The Matrix.
Correct.
It also stars probably as the oddly protagonist, even though he's the eponymous V, Natalie Portman as Evie Hammond, who works for the official government info/TV network BTN.
Big Ten Network.
Is that what that is in the States?
Yeah.
Is it really? That's the BTN is a real thing.
Yeah, Big Ten Network.
And here it's the British television network.
Which one's more important? Let's be honest.
Well,
Big Ten
one's
football or
propaganda.
Britain?
Which one's more propaganda?
The Big Ten Network.
One's propaganda and
The
one
other's the
is
British
in
television network. Yeah.
Big Ten Network. A lot of propaganda.
Natalie Portman's coming off of all 3 Star Wars trilogies at this point, and 1 year before this, Garden State. So she is really coming into her own.
You like Garden State?
I liked it a lot more 20 years ago than I do now, but I still think it has one of the greatest soundtracks of any movie of all time.
It's not better than Orange County, but it is good.
I think it's one of the best. Stephen Fry as Dietrich, a TV host and secret activist. You'll know him from Hitchhiker's Guide. He's an author, a very famous British presenter in a lot of shows. John Hurt as the High Chancellor Adam Sutler, which I think just really quickly is so funny, given that he played one of the weirdest things. He was Winston Smith, the revolutionary victim in the movie adaptation of 1984, which is a very similar movie, a very similar concept, very similar book.
Yeah.
But he was the hero of that one. He was the victim of that one. And here he's Sutler, the High Chancellor.
I kept calling him the big giant head.
Uh-huh.
If you've ever seen Third Rock from the Sun, shout out to that.
Well, also he's
John Lithgow.
Correct.
French
he's
Stewart.
supposed to be
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
he's supposed to be Adam Susan in the book. In the graphic novel, he's Adam Susan. But in the first of many choices by the movie V for Vendetta, they decide to hold your hand to cross the road very childishly and say, no, we're going to do this heavy-handed. Sutler's closer to Hitler. So we think that our American audience will get it when we say we change it from Susan to Sutler. And as we'll get into it, one of my bigger critiques of the movie, I think most of us will probably agree, is that it is very heavy-handed.
Very much so. It doesn't really, like you said, it holds your hand.
Yeah.
Through the whole thing of like, who's the bad guy, who's the good guy. I know V's like, I'm the bad guy. And clearly that's, for the most part, that seems like there's not the case. There's a couple of times where you're kind of like, your actions are a little questionable.
Well, in the graphic novel too, he was objectively not a good guy.
Okay.
He was way darker, way more violent. The movie, they thought that we wouldn't be able to relate to him quite as much if he weren't necessarily quite as good of a guy. So in the movie, and I'll go through this as we go through the plot, there's a few scenes where he really, they crank up the volume on, no, look, he's a good guy doing good stuff. But it's definitely clear that if you've read the graphic novel and you watch the movie, it is one, comparing anarchy to conservatism, and the other, the movie, comparing neoliberalism to neoconservatism.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason that Alan Moore, again, distanced himself from this project so much is that not just Watchmen was a big failure on the big screen, but he didn't want to associate himself with, it seems like V is being celebrated as a hero. And I personally don't think he is that much in this movie, but I can see why he's saying that. One
thing I was very surprised as a new viewer, obviously the famous Guy Fawkes mask that is associated with this movie. I thought V was a lot less talkative, or would be a lot less talkative in this movie.
He has a problem shutting up.
Yeah. I didn't realize he would have so much dialogue.
His voice is very vociferous.
Apparently it is. I immediately was like taken aback by that. Like, whoa, I thought it was more of a silent, very low spoken type of anti-hero. And instead, nope, it is exposition and long dialogue. And I was very surprised by that.
So he does not have any qualms explaining everything that he's ever thought, felt, or seen or heard in reference to his plot to Natalie Portman.
In fairness, he's probably only talked to her in like 15 years. So like, I think y'all both know me pretty well. I might be one of the most talkative people you've ever met.
Yeah.
Ben, we met at a brewery when you were just you were having a beer with close friends, and I just self-inserted into y'all's conversation where I was just like, hey, here's my thoughts on what you're talking about. And you're like, who the hell is this guy? So
we did not have that response.
But I am not one to talk about talking too much. I will say, however, if you didn't talk to someone for like potentially 10, 15 years, and then you get a new best friend, I'm probably going to be going off the rails.
Is it best friend or is it like slave? Or
well, let's get into that.
Prisoner.
Yeah.
Before we do,
prisoner's probably better than slave.
Almost literally at one point.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, literally. I do just want to say, when this came out 20 years ago in 2006, I personally thought it was over the top. I thought it was a little too dramatic. I thought the kind of stuff they were doing, the level of propaganda and censorship was something that in a modern day of social media and everything was just not going to happen.
And then November 2024 happened.
I'd say 16.
Well, it's gotten worse since November 24.
But unfortunately, in my opinion, a lot of this movie is aged like wine.
Especially now, when you talk about the censorship and you talk about the rise of fascism and
totalitarianism,
authoritarianism, label it what you want. I mean, what we see in this movie, I really, honestly, we're not here to debate whether you think what's happening is good or bad. Honestly, we don't care. We have the mics, so we're going to say what we think. But it's real. And that's what we're seeing pretty much every day in America right now. And it's continuing to get worse and worse. And so when you watch a movie like this in 2006 and you say, man, this is over the top.
Yeah.
This is not real. This could never happen. Cut to 20 years later and look where we're at. So it's the same with like Idiocracy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And you think there's no way any of this could ever happen. And we, for whatever reason, as a society have progressively gotten dumber in the last 20 years. And that's why we are where we are now. Rant.
So we're going to kick it off. In the near future, Britain is ruled by the fascist iron fist of the Norse Fire Party. And at the top sits Chancellor Sutler.
That is a cool ass name for a political party, though.
Norse Fire.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
It kind of sounds like a D&D spell to me.
Oh, you got the Norse Fire.
Yeah, like, oh, she's able to control Norse Fire because she's a druid, but you can't because Nels, you're an orc.
You're just a bard.
It is a little odd, but I agree. It hits.
Well, you got to have a cool name for your cult. You can't be lame.
Yeah.
You can't be the lame name cult.
Well, their society is no joke, however. It is fascist. It is completely run on propaganda. Citizens' lifestyles are highly restricted. To quote the movie, immigrants, homosexuals, Muslims, people of alternative religions, they're being abducted, tortured, experimented on, and or executed every single day. It's dark.
That's a rough go. I mean,
So we start with Natalie Portman kind of giving a voiceover description of here's the movie that you're about to experience. Here's the society in which this movie takes place. By sunup, if you're not the sorriest piece of ass in all of London, you'll certainly be the sorest. So as we talked about 2 episodes in the life of David Gale, unfortunately, sexual assault is also not out of bounds in this movie, which I should give you a trigger warning about. It's not explicitly a theme throughout, but there are moments of it.
boy, am I glad that we don't have a secret police that is running around rampant doing stuff like that here.
Just abducting people left and right as much as they
Having their
want.
way, and nobody knows what's happening.
Government sanctioned executions in the street.
We laughed through it.
Well, to make it even more relevant, unfortunately, in this movie, there was a terrible virus, the St. Mary's virus.
Again, no mirrors at all to our society of recent times.
Did society just watch this movie and decide, this looks like fun. Let's
Hey.
give it a shot.
Yeah.
Can't be that bad, right?
I thought it was interesting when they were like, other countries didn't fare as well as Britain, even though Britain had amongst the highest fatality rates, with 100,000 people died because of the St. Mary's virus. And you think about how many millions died here in the States alone from COVID.
No, that wasn't real.
But other nations didn't fare as well. And the US is looked down upon. They try to trade with Britain. They say, we'll send you wheat and tobacco. Britain scoffs and says, you are the ulcered sphincter of Asserica.
I've been meaning to ask you guys also, how's it been going for you after you got chipped with the vaccine? Could you have Wi-Fi in your body?
Bill Gates and George Soros are the best.
I'm not allowed to discuss that.
Oh, I forgot you're in WITSEC.
You're in WITSEC. Shoot. Man, the high secretary is going to be so upset that
Oh,
we said that.
he's so pissed. Do they know you're on this show?
So we start with Evie Hammond, Natalie Portman, who we learn her brother died in a bioterrorist attack, which we'll learn more about, leading to her parents becoming extreme activists and ultimately then being abducted violently in the middle of the night as they are likely killed. She is grown up on her own, desperate for money. So she's at this point, unfortunately, propositioning a man on the street for a one night stand. She walks up to this man. You see her putting on lipstick. She walks out into the street. She goes up to this man and propositions him for money. He then immediately gets aggressive with her, and you're already uncomfortable. Spoiler alert, is kind of setting the tone for the whole movie. He reveals himself to be a finger man, which is not a pun, but rather as the Norse Fire Party is divided up with the human anatomy, as we'll learn, they are the hands and boots on the
I
street.
just feel like they could have chosen a different name.
It could have been less
Again,
on the
just-
nose.
well, yeah.
He then calls.
What are you guys? The penis men.
He calls over like 3 or 4 of his guys, and they're clearly about to gang assault this young woman.
You can say it.
I mean, they're going to gang rape her. They're going to assault her. It's going to be brutal. Again, we've given y'all a warning. This movie will be a bit polycharged. She's cornered by them. They control the streets with violence, fear, intimidation. They
Oh,
are supposed to be a la the German Gestapo, the brown shirts.
Nice.
It's all too real with our watching it these days, which I thought was kind of an important movie to watch because, yes, and again, especially with the three of us living in Minnesota. There have been literal executions that are government sanctioned on the streets where they're not just sanctioned, but the victim is always blamed.
Oh, yeah. How dare you be in your neighborhood?
V rescues her, and he takes him with her to show her his bombing of the Old Bailey, which, if you're not familiar with London architecture, which I think almost no one is.
No, I didn't know what the hell he was talking about.
It's a very famous criminal court building. It was originally a prison.
I know Big Ben.
So the Old Bailey was originally a prison for the worst of the worst, and it was then transitioned into a criminal court building, but it was known as one of the most corrupt court buildings in all of Britain. So it had this horrible reputation about it. It makes sense why he'd do this. So you see him start playing Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture, which is kind of a character in the movie because we'll hear it, I believe, twice more after the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's describing to Evie how he's going to blow up this building, because he's saying that a building holds an ideal. A building is more important than a person. He has a very alliterative speech. He, I think, would crush it on Sesame Street, trying to teach the letter V. Because, and I'm going to take a sip of water.
It's very
verbose.
Well, what is the name of that?
Yes.
The rap alphabet from Black Alicious. You don't know that song?
Do I look like I know that song?
He says, voila, in a view, a humble vaudevillian veteran cast vicariously as both victim and villain of the vicissitudes of fate. The visage, no mere veneer of vanity, is a vestige of the vox populi, now vacant, vanished. However, this valorous visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified and has vowed to vanquish these venal and virulent vermin, vanguarding vice and vouchsafing the violently vicious and voracious violation of volition. The only verdict is vengeance, a vendetta held as a votive, not in vain, for the value and veracity of such shall one day vindicate the vigilant and the virtuous. Verily, this vicious soir of verbose veers most verbose, so let me simply add that it is my very good honor to meet you, and may you call me V.
You think he has a second favorite letter?
Probably the Roman numeral 5.
This reminds me of that episode of Friends where Joey can only get he can only afford the encyclopedia V section.
These must be Chandler's pants.
Yeah. And so he reads up on that and he keeps trying to bring up V topics with the group. That's what this is.
Anybody want to talk about the vas deferens?
The Vatican, that's very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
So he does his Sesame Street bit, and he says, the next morning, Evie, watch on November 5th. As he's described earlier, we gave you a sneak preview last week. Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot.
This is that's a real thing that happened, by the way.
Problem 1 with the movie.
Ben doesn't like that it ends in forgot.
It ends grammatically incorrectly. Don't roll your eyes at me.
I didn't. That was Nels.
I know it was Nels.
I'm telling the listeners.
It should end in forgotten, not forgot.
How can you rhyme plot with forgot?
Rhyme it with a different word.
You're not a poet.
The gunpowder, treason, and plotting should never be forgotten.
No, I mean, end it with a different word than forgot.
So
forget it, you shall not.
Fast forward to the next day, Evie, which, by the way, half of her name is just V.
Even V's kind of like, ha.
He's like, hey, I like you a lot. Can you imagine if her name was like Abby? And he's like, no.
Go find me someone with a V in their name.
What are you, Downton? Get out of here.
She works for the BTN, which, as we mentioned earlier, is the British television network, not the Big Ten network. And when the terrorist V shows up, he holds the entire network employees hostage and forces them to play his message of rebellion. This is really the only time that he addresses the public. Other than this, he's kind of a face behind the movement, and you know when things happen that he's the one doing it. But this is really, truly, if you examine the movie from like a standing back perspective, this is the only time that his face is allowed to shine. And to have such inspiration from only once at the very beginning, I think is pretty powerful. He explains basically that the Norse Fire Party is incredibly corrupt, is incredibly fascist, is incredibly totalitarian, authoritarian, and why he's doing what he's doing. He then escapes in the first of many moments of, and the Wachowski sisters are in this, so you know that bullet time is going to be in it, but like knife version of bullet time. And it's over the top. It's definitely played for like 13-year-olds being like, oh, hell yeah. That being said, it looks cool as hell.
It does.
When he comes out of that room and they grab, because he puts everyone in Guy Fawkes masks, everyone's flooding out the room. They grab one person. They're like, get him. And they take his mask off. He has a big gag in his mouth. And then the person that they threw to the ground stands up behind them and starts pulling out these giant blades and flipping them in his hands. It is objectively kind of a, oh shit, hell yeah movie moment. He's fighting his way out of there. Unfortunately, he gets cornered by our head chief inspector, played by Stephen Ray. And as he's about to try to escape, he needs help. Insert Evie Hammond. Natalie Portman sees him, pepper sprays the person. She's knocked out in his escape. And he has a simple but incredibly complex moment of, do I take her with me? Because she will be tortured and killed.
Yeah.
But she could foil all of my plans that I've worked, at this point, we don't know, 15, 20 years to set up.
It's his life's mission at this point.
So do you risk everything? But in his mind, even though he admits that at the very onset, I am the villain, I am not a good guy, he does not want another innocent person to be tortured and killed and executed for his crimes. So he takes her with him. And I want to ask you about when she wakes up in his house.
Yeah.
House is a interesting term.
Bunker?
His
Hole?
His fortress?
Yeah.
His hideaway?
So he's cooking her breakfast. And if you haven't seen this, listener, he's cooking a piece of toast that you have cut a circle out and you put an egg in the middle of. And you're cooking the whole thing together in a pan. What do y'all call that dish?
Eggs in a basket.
Eggs in a basket, Ben? Nels?
It's good enough for me. Eggs in a basket? I never,
Eggs in a basket?
I'm not quite sure of the name, but I'll go with the consensus.
Okay. So I've heard egg in a house, egg in a basket, egg in a hole, or eggy in a hole. I've also heard kind of geographical joke, which is inbred eggs, because it is inbred. But I wanted to ask y'all, is this the best looking food or described food of the podcast so far? Because I can't think of another food that we've had on the podcast that's been described as much. When she says, oh my God, is that real butter? And you see her like face melt as he's cooking it, and you hear the frying on the pan, and you see him flip it, and you hear those sizzles. And she's like, I haven't had real butter since I was a girl. And they describe it. I got hungry for that exact dish. And I can't think of another time on the pod when we've discovered a food like this.
I mean, we talked about the chili, not chili, possibly Gruel and Sister Act, which I still think is chili, and it looks pretty good.
It does not look good.
It looks pretty good. You put a little salt on it, it'll be fine.
I'll take the egg in the basket over that.
I'm not like, I eat eggs because I know they're good for me. I'm not a big egg guy.
What do you work for? Big cholesterol?
I work for big cholesterol.
That's a Simpsons joke.
My wife also has celiac, so we don't have bread in the house.
Fair.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It paused because I feel like food is sometimes such an incredibly powerful scene in movies. That is the first time I've really taken a moment to pause. We're 12 episodes in, and I haven't had a movie moment where I'm like, oh, wow, food. And granted, it's because their life is so dreary. It's always dark skies. It's always...
Apparently butter's illegal.
It is illegal. He stole butter off of a train heading to the chancellor's house.
Yeah, all the higher ups get butter and all the good food.
Anyways.
We're left with the raw milk here.
Yeah.
That being said, the movie really wastes no time. It dives right into the action. There's like 5 minutes of exposition, and then you see him slaughtering guards at the BTN network. He then explains to Evie that he's going to assassinate key figures in the rise of the Northfire regime. First of all is the mouth of the propaganda network, Prothero. And this is where I mentioned earlier, it's kind of a human anatomy. You have the head, that's Sutler. You have the mouth, that's Prothero. You have the eyes and ears, that's the surveillance team. You have the fingermen, they're the boots on the ground and the fingers on the ground.
What part of the body's the bishop?
The heart? The lack of a soul? Well, so V visits him in his home as he's showering, and time out, that shower, I mean, obviously Prothero sucks, but that shower looked incredible. It was the size of like a normal sized bedroom with like 1,000 shower heads, and they had like 12 TVs surrounding him. Granted, they're playing his network in his interview.
You never want to get out.
But I wouldn't want to watch myself just doing propaganda.
You don't go home and listen to the episode after we do it?
Not the day of.
Oh, okay. That's all I listen to. Episodes.
I will say this. Oh my gosh. A moment that I had though was when he was talking about, he's like, I just wish I had been there when V took over the studio. I'm just saying it would have gone down differently.
Every douchebag you've ever met in your life has said that at least once.
May I bring up potentially the most douchiest of all douchebags who have done this? Mark Wahlberg, about none other than 9/11. Do y'all remember this?
Only because we talked about it before, but so I didn't remember.
Mark Wahlberg, after 9/11, was interviewed and he's just like, I'm just saying, if I was on that plane, things would have gone down differently. I don't know. There might not have been a 9/11. All I'm saying is there have been a lot of blood in that first class section.
It would have been on all 4 planes at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I just see you immediately think Prothero's a loser.
See, this is actually just proof that only douchebags say that because Mark Wahlberg committed a hate crime in the 90s that everybody likes to forget about. He almost killed an Asian man. Yep. So let's not forget about that.
Oh, yeah. Don't look it up, listeners. Mark Wahlberg.
Piece of garbage. He's a piece of crap.
So he kills him. And then he's going to target Bishop Lilliman.
Oh, man.
Who was the chaplain at Larkhill Camp, which we are going to learn a lot more about. But all we know at this point is that the bishop was complacent in the torture and murder of political dissidents, minorities, and most heavily LGBTQ individuals at Larkhill Camp. This is where I wanted to ask y'all a quick moment.
Oh, boy.
Did y'all think that V was potentially a gay man when you were watching this movie at any point in time?
I don't know that particular thought crossed my mind, but now that you mention it, I could see that argument being made. I think he's more asexual than anything.
Yeah.
I think he is.
Well, I think he is now after whatever happened to him.
Well,
he definitely has a flair for the theatric.
Well, we learned that Larkhill Camp was primarily, it had political dissidents, it had minorities, it had illegal immigrants, but it primarily had LGBTQ plus individuals. We'll talk about that in a second, but Bishop Lilliman, we also learn, as if the movie didn't have to just like twist your arm. We're like, hey, by the way, you're about to see this guy get killed. And we're like, yeah, we know, we're ready. And they're like, no, but he's a bad guy. And we're like, no, we understand that. And they're like, he's a pedo. And we're like, what? And they're like, okay, we'll have his assistant introduce, hey, by the way, we secured a new girl for you, but she looks a little older than you're used to. And he's like, oh, I pray tell, I hope she's not too old and used up. And you're like, oh, jeez.
We're going to tie this all back into David Gale.
Cut to Natalie Portman in a
schoolgirl outfit, I guess, or some sort of.
Kind of looks like a doll's outfit.
Yeah.
I'd say more doll.
Yeah. It's creepy looking.
It is. And
I'm just going to say that is really weird. The schoolgirl outfit thing. Super weird.
Agreed.
What's supposed to be.
It's very weird.
Yes.
Well, he does not think so. And Bishop Lilliman goes,
he's a big fan.
He's like, my Lord, they didn't tell me how divine you'd be.
Come here, my child.
And she's like, at this point, Evie Hammond, the character, is having second thoughts about V and his whole plot and tries to say, look, you have to shelter me. I'm going to tell you the whole plot right now. He's about to kill you. V's here. And he's like, what game is this? And she's like, no, it's no game. I unlocked the window in the bathroom when they were allowing me to change. You have to understand you're about to be killed. And he's like, oh, I love this game.
He's very stupid.
He's a moron, which as the viewer, you're like, well, thank God.
Oh, yeah. Pedophile. Let's kill him.
I'm
down.
Out of nowhere, V kicks down the door and he's holding knives and he's starting to like wax poetic. You know, this guy's about to die. I did want to pause on, I love his little Bible gun. Did y'all catch the hollowed out Bible that has a hidden gun in it?
That was really cool.
Better or worse than the knife belt from Eraser?
Oh, way better.
Oh, no. I got to go knife belt.
No, I like Bible gun.
But Bible gun and knife belt.
Because I did
fall to ABC.
I did love when in Eraser when he's like, I can't believe you got me with that rinky dink bullshit knife belt.
And he got him good.
He did. And fortunately for the viewer, unfortunately for the bishop, he did not get V very well with his Bible gun.
He did not.
V kills him. Evie escapes because again, she's trying to like get out of there. She's not buying into it just yet.
And poor Evie, she's got to escape wearing that baby doll outfit.
Oh God.
Like, can I just real quick, I'm going to go throw my pants back on, dress like a normal human, and then I'm out of here. Nope, can't do
V,
that.
for God's sake, wait 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Pin him down. I don't give a shit,
Yeah.
but just pin him down. Give me a minute.
Put my regular clothes on before we get out of here.
V's going on with his plot. The third person on his list is Dr. Delia Surridge. And this is where you really learn the heart of V's background. V shows up at her house in the middle of the night. She tries to, as I just said about the other guy, she tries now to wax poetic about how Oppenheimer didn't just change the course of war, but the course of human history. He held on to hope. V shuts it down immediately and says, I'm not here for what you hoped to do. I'm here for what you did. And it's again one of these moments where Hugo Weaving delivers such an absolutely stupendous, unbelievable performance. It is so hard, in my opinion, to act only with a voiceover. And granted, he has some flourishes of his hands and he'll tilt his head, but he has such gravitas in his lines that I buy the emotion behind them. Mm-hmm. Solely, if I were to close my eyes, I still buy every line that he delivers. And I'm also a sucker for the reveal of you're already dead. I love that in movies.
I do think that's something that I particularly do enjoy about V and his, what he's doing is he's made the decision. He is doing this based on what you have done, not what you potentially could do in the future or what you promised to change.
Or how you feel about what you did.
Or how you feel about what you did. Exactly.
That logical reason comes up a lot.
I know. And we see that a lot in some movies where people second guess themselves when they've made this decision to take out people that are ruining society or hurting people or whatever. And they have that, I assume, very real human reflective moment where they think, should I do this? Should I actually kill them? You could change. People have the ability to change. But V is like, I really don't care. You're done. What? And I respect that writing. I don't know that most people would be like that. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, I've made the decision. You're dying. And let's go ahead and take care of this.
I want to pause for a second. Have y'all seen the show Andor?
No. Star Wars show, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically it's a Star Wars show, but there's 0 Jedis, there's 0 superpowers, there's 0 like Sith, lightsabers, anything like that in it. So yes, it's in the Star Wars universe, but it is much, 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 much all caps, underlined, bold print, italicized, much more about how difficult it is to start a rebellion in the face of total authoritarianism. Mm-hmm. And Andor is probably the best TV show I've seen in the last 10 years. Okay. There is a character, Luthen Rael, who is, listeners, if you don't want to have this show spoiled, you know what? I'm probably just going to stop there, actually, because truly you owe it to yourself to see the show Andor.
I'm putting it on the list.
But there's a character who is so pragmatic the whole time that it's just infectious in that, oh, you know what? You're not a good guy. But what you are is advancing the good plot. And sometimes a rebellion, I feel like, needs that. You need a no holds bar. I just went and watched the movie. I'm currently reading the book, Project Hail Mary. Eva Stratt in that movie, when the earth is dying because our sun is being eaten by, spoiler alert, this creature out there that we don't understand, this organism we don't understand, and the sun is fading. She nukes the polar ice caps to ensure that the world does not get too cold at a time. And that decision makes her the least liked person in like human history. But she does it with utter, absolute, positive logic. And I think that V is one of those characters where he's like, no, I don't care how I'm looked at throughout history. Mm-hmm. I like how Valerie Page, as we'll learn in a bit, is looked at throughout history. I like how Evie Hammond will be looked at throughout history.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever given that a thought.
No, not even close. All he wants is one singular ending, which is, in the movie, progressive change. In the comics, it's anarchy, but at least in the movie, he's just like, I just want to topple this horribly fascist government. That's it.
You and me both, V.
Yeah. So as I was mentioning, he kills Dr. Delia Surge. I love when she's like, are you going to kill me? And he's like, I did 10 minutes ago in your sleep.
Yeah.
I kind of always am a sucker for that scene in a movie when you're like, ooh, that's pretty cool.
So what we've learned recently is you're big on that line.
Uh-huh.
And you're also big on
if someone has a treasure map,
someone has a treasure map.
How about I have killed you, but the antidote will be found by this treasure map. Is that like your ultimate movie?
My God.
So if we can get the treasure map from Trespass tattooed on him, we'll just add a little vial that says antidote.
Do y'all like escape rooms?
No.
I've done one. It was fine.
Oh my God.
I've done so many of them.
I can't get people to do escape rooms with me.
I'll do it with you.
Yeah,
but it's because I freaking love them so much. And people are like,
giddy all
they're
time.
like, all right, slow down. And I'm immediately like tearing stuff open.
This is actually why Colin had to leave Memphis.
Flipping tables over there. They're like bolted down.
He tried to move into an escape room. It's like, I'm not leaving.
I brought a set of lockpicks and I was like, done. I did it. We're out.
Like, that's not how this works. And you're like, yeah, seems like it is.
So anyways, I did like that whole scene. The chief inspector, meanwhile, played brilliantly by Stephen Ray. I think that he might be slyly the best actor in this movie.
I can see that. I don't have an issue with that statement.
Is on his case. And at this point, after Dr. Surge's death, they're reading his journal. And I think that this is really where the heart of the movie is. This is where the true like aorta, the heartbeat exists. You learn everything about Larkhill Detention Facility, which they call a detention facility. It's a concentration camp. We all know what it is. And it's almost exclusively, as we alluded to earlier, it does have political dissidents. It has immigrants, but it mainly has LGBTQ plus people. They're trying to develop a new biological super weapon. Most of her subject dies. But one nameless subject in a cell simply marked with the Roman numeral 5, aka V, survived with heightened physical strength and abilities.
That was just a coincidence, right?
Seems like it.
I mean, God forbid if he was like in like cell 4, he'd be like,
Ivy.
Ivy and Evie.
Ivy and Evie. If the Ivy doesn't happen to Ivy, shit, I can't do a whole speech about this.
We're not here to rewrite it.
But you learn about his torture at this facility. And I'm pretty curious if y'all have heard about this or if y'all read this. When he emerges from those flames, Anyways, this new bioweapon that they developed was then released intentionally onto the public. This was the St. Mary's virus.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to instill panic, extreme dependence on the government, sell the cure, and lead to an even more sudden rise of the Norse Fire Party. This is when you kind of put the pieces together. Oh, Evie's brother was intentionally, not like they targeted him, but he was like an intentional victim of this. Her parents were an intentional victim of this. And you start putting pieces together that actually she's truly the main character of this. Whereas V was tested on and he developed the superpower, like human strength. It's all about her. Cut to her taking shelter at her boss's house. This is Dietrich, played by Stephen Fry, who hosts a popular TV program. He reveals himself to be a rebel and an activist. You learn about his secret hideout, which I think looks cool as shit when he turns the wine bottle to open the secret door. Oh my God, that's right up my alley. That's in my Q zone. But he has that secret hideout. He owns an original Quran, which is illegal.
So the treasure map leads you to the secret room with the antidote for the poison that is in you.
I did say I like escape rooms, and they generally have a little secret switch.
Just everything about this movie is scratching Colin Woody.
Yeah.
You're learning a lot about me.
We really are. We didn't know any of this about you, except we knew the treasure map thing.
He has homoerotic pictures. You find out that he's gay, which the Norse Fire Party is obviously very
not allowed to be gay.
He owns illegal art, which criticizes the Norse Fire Party, which is obviously very illegal.
He has the Quran.
Yeah, which is like a death sentence at this point.
I think all of this would be death sentence for him.
It is.
Interesting.
He
Weird, right?
Yeah.
He then goes off script on his TV show that day, and he's proud to show it to Evie, where he says, actually, I'm going to release a new episode. It's not the government script that they gave me. I'm going to powerfully satirize the chancellor. And satire is powerful.
Yeah,
it is. And the more insecure you are, the more tightly you're trying to freaking grasp something, the slightest thing that comes out of your knuckles is going to be more and more infuriating. So you will try to hammer it out. He says, Evie, look, the worst I'll have to do is apologize, re-record the episode, make a public statement,
make some donations, or have a charity thing or something like that.
Cut to Evie waking up in the middle of the night, hearing a bang and windows collapsing, and the exact parallel of her mother being abducted and murdered basically in front of her. Even though she doesn't see her murder, she knows she's going to be killed.
Yeah, she's hiding under the bed.
He goes, Evie, hide, hides in the bed in the exact same way as her mom does. He gets taken down, bloodied up. This is Creedy, the head of the Fingerman.
Yeah. He's the Goebbels of this outfit.
So Evie's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to escape. She jumps out the window. She's escaping through the alley. And, well, the dog gets it.
Yeah, dog understands.
It's scary. In general, you're so tense, you're so uptight, and out of nowhere, you just see a big glove grab her by the hand and goes, gotcha.
Yeah.
Evie then wakes up in prison.
Now, when that happened, I was like 95% sure that was V.
And this is your first time watching, correct? Yeah. Did you think it when she woke up in prison getting her head shaved?
No. Then I was like, oh, okay, maybe not.
You're like, oh, I think most viewers had the same moment where you're like, oh, he rescued her. Because he kind of says in a Hugo Weaving voice, like, gotcha.
Yeah.
And then you see her weeping.
Yeah.
Getting her head shaved.
I assumed that's real.
That is a real one take shot.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the best shot of the movie. It was the hardest shot of the movie.
It has to be.
And Natalie Portman said it was the scariest shot of her career. Because you simply can't mess up. I mean, you can't reshave a head.
Yeah. You can. It's we'll be waiting 3 years for you to grow it back and then do it again.
Also, side note, Natalie Portman with a shaved head looks better than I could ever look with a head full of hair. Unbelievable.
Looks better than I do with a shaved head.
But she is imprisoned.
Yep.
And she's tortured. And you see countless scenes of torture.
Dunked in the water.
They're dunking her in water. They're beating her. They're spraying her down.
She gets the even worse gruel than Sister Act.
Got way worse, to the point where a rat walks over and looks at it, and then the rat walks away.
Yeah.
But through the hole that rat comes in, a couple days into her torture, a note pops in.
Yeah.
And it's a scrolled up piece of paper.
I think it's toilet paper, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is from a woman that we will learn is called Valerie Page.
Mm-hmm.
She is as we will learn, lesbian actor who was imprisoned. And at this point, Evie is learning her cellmate next door, her neighbor cellmate, is an imprisoned actor who refuses to betray her ideals. The voiceover is unbelievable. I was tearing up heavily throughout this scene when she's saying, there's no reason on earth why you would ever believe that this is me as opposed to them playing a trick on you. But frankly, I don't even care. Oh, I'm literally tearing up right now. But when she's like, frankly, I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to tell my life story. It's powerful. And Evie is interrogated every single day, cut with interrogation, her reading these stories.
Yeah.
Interrogation, her reading new notes.
Were they different notes? I thought it was just one note.
No, she passed new ones each day. There were new notes that were passed.
I didn't think somebody else was in the cell next to her. I thought Valerie had been in that cell and left those notes in the hole. Later on we'll understand what's happening, but
so we'll go there now. As Evie is being interrogated one day, they give her an ultimatum and they say, because they've asked countless times, who is V? Where is V? What is the plan? What is the plot? And every time she says, no, nothing. And she's tearing up. This is the most powerful scene in the movie, in my opinion, by far. The whole story of Valerie Page contrasted with her dull, dark reality. Even though Valerie Page's reality is even darker. She eventually says, I'm never going to say anything. And the guard just simply stands up, walks out the door, leaving the door open, and exits down the hallway.
Yeah, she was going to be executed, or at least that's what she was told.
She knows at this point. In her mind, she's positive that I know I will die.
Yeah, they're like, line up the firing squad. Then the guard comes to get her and says, he says something like, just tell them what they want to know. And this will all stop. That's when I was like, okay, this might be V.
And
there's no evidence to suggest she's not going to be executed. So
yeah. I mean, she's been physically tortured for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She stands up curiously, cautiously, walks out the door very hesitantly.
There's a guard at the end of the hall,
and she approaches so softly, and we, the viewer, in the same real time as her, see that it's a mannequin.
Not the mannequin from 1987's Mannequin.
No, it's not Kim Cattrall.
It's not the mannequin that
Mel Gibson looks up the skirt.
No, this is a dude mannequin.
She pokes it and it rocks. It's plastic. And you see her world is coming down.
She's like,
and
what the F?
To Natalie Portman's credit, I think she acts this whole scene, again, brilliantly.
Maybe they really tortured her and didn't tell her what was going on.
She opens the door and it's V's hideout bunker. Immediately she's furious, of course. You wanted to live without fear. Forgive me. I wish there'd been an easier way. And she slaps the shit out of him. You're sick. You're evil. To his point, I guess, because he's not a good guy. He is the villain, but he says very effectively, you could have ended it each day, but you didn't give in. Why?
Yeah.
He, at this point, knows his only objective was to completely indoctrinate her.
Yeah.
And he has done it. It's hard. But I love the following line when she keeps on fighting him and fighting him and fighting him. And then he lets her run outside. But right before she runs outside, he says, this may be the most important moment in your life. Commit to it. They took your parents from you. They took your brother from you. They took everything they could from you except your life. And now they can't take that. In my mind, indicating, of course, she's like, I don't care if you kill me. I'm not going to give up V. So she's now living without fear. The moment where she runs outside in the rain is a little heavy-handed. You don't really have to do that.
It's very heavy-handed. But I think what you just talked about with that mini speech, you know, we always talk about, or at least I've had this conversation with my wife many times. We watch a ton of true crime and a lot of documentaries, and she's always asking, you know, like, does everybody have the capability to do that at some point?
Go through like interrogation?
To get to a point where you have nothing in your mind left to lose. So what is the human capable of doing when they're in that corner and you have nothing left? And I think when you watch stuff like that, or when you watch a movie like this and you're trying to put yourself in Evie's position, he points it out, like he kind of hits her over the head with it. You have nothing left. So what are you going to do now? And
he's literal about it. She doesn't.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She doesn't have family. They did kill them. She doesn't have a brother. They did kill them. She doesn't have a job. They did kill that. Yeah. She's an outlaw. They did kill that.
And you start to think about like, we've made some jokes and jests about what's going on in America today, but you know, there are situations that we could be in now where any one of us could be backed into a corner, and everything could be taken from us for no reason other than we were in someone's way, or we were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Mouthing off on a podcast. I think Cash Patel's knocking on the door right now, actually.
Big eyes, Cash.
You don't know which way he's looking.
I just want to come in and drink. Party.
Sorry.
No, but you're right.
My beer's not for you, Cash. But everybody could get to that point, and when you have nothing left, when you are in that corner, what do most people do? I would say most people shrink and accept their fate.
Yeah.
And he's actively telling her, you have the option to do something about it.
Yeah.
You can fight, you can resist, and you've done that, but you have to keep doing it because this is not going to stop today. It has to continue, and it has to continue with you, because I think V, spoiler alert, I think he's accepted his eventual fate.
100%.
He is absolutely there. He agrees that this is probably what my life's going to come to. So when that happens, you need to carry it on. You need to continue it.
Yeah. Very first line of the movie, the narration, voiceover by her. You cannot kiss an idea. You cannot hold it. You cannot grasp it. I'm now paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact verbatim. But it's an idea, and therefore it's bulletproof.
Oh, yeah. You can't kill an idea.
And if you carry it through, the last 5 minutes up through now, this is when it, again, hardcore passes the call and cry test. I am super red-eyed at this point. The whole Valerie Page part, I was crying. Even when she's cleansing herself in the Jesus pose, symbol in the rain, I'm like, come on, that's so obvious. But then I do think to myself, and I'm like, God, remember when he did that 10 minutes ago in fire? And I kind of like why they contrast his fire with her rain. She's a bit soft. He's a bit hot. It's very heavy-handed. It spoon feeds you.
It's a little Shawshank Steely.
For sure. But I kind of appreciate it.
Tim Robbins watches that and goes, you jerk.
You son of a bitch.
So then she says, I'll see you on November 5th. And she leaves. V, meanwhile, meets with, in a kind of shitty disguise, if we're being honest, but like meets with like Finch and the chief inspector assistant.
You didn't buy the disguise. You didn't buy that at all?
I did clock that it was him immediately. I guess we're probably supposed to. But
I'd be like, my kid's like
half his face is burned. It's
Dad,
like,
who's that? I'm like, honey, get in the car. But he basically gives them an offer.
It's like 3 dogs in a trench coat.
Yeah.
What was the name? Root Harsker that he's portraying?
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
Root Harsk or Root Mask.
It was Root.
Something like that.
But he says he will turn himself in if Creedy, who's the head of the Fingermen, kind of like the next in command of all of Northspire, if he turns over Sutler. Now Guy Fawkes Night, November 5th, is approaching. V has organized tens of thousands of Guy Fawkes masks to be shipped across all of London. Which, side note, can you imagine being the manufacturing plant and being like, honey, order the wallpaper. We can afford it.
You gotta love that order when it comes in. It's like, and you put it at the very bottom of that receipt. No returns, no refunds.
And don't need it for a year.
We have 25,000 masks, 25,000 hats, 25,000 capes being ordered.
Yep.
You know what? Schedule the vacation, baby. We got this.
Don't have to pay people overtime. We can take our time with it.
Get the van with the third row.
But he organizes those. You see them being shipped out. He meets with Evie again in the underground tube, which you previously thought was completely caved in, which it was. He painstakingly hand emptied it. He has filled a train with massive amounts of explosives.
Yeah, the train's going to go under Parliament and blow it up.
His whole goal. He's been saying this for about a year.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of an interesting twist, too, in terms of he obviously is a terrorist, but he's not trying to kill a building full of people.
Yeah, I don't think that makes you a terrorist. I don't know what it. Anarchist, I guess.
Oh, but that's the original plot.
Yeah.
But he explains to Evie that he's going to blow up Parliament using the underground train. Knowing his fate, he gives her full responsibility of the throttle on the train. And he says, it's your choice to start this train at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
You can or cannot do this, but I need to do something else. We know what he's doing at this point. Evie does not. Y'all know that domino scene then that he does too? Looks pretty, I think, freaking cool, to be honest.
It looked cool, but it was maybe the most pointless thing because it doesn't do anything other than look cool.
Do you want to know how pointless it was?
It's incredibly useless to the story.
Do you want to know how useless it was to the filming?
How much did it cost?
I don't know the cost.
But the time to set up those dominoes took a bit.
What do you think? Because they had 4 professional domino setters.
Oh, I don't know, 8
and
hours?
20,000 dominoes.
20,000.
8 hours total for the 4 of them?
You're insanely
I'm going
low.
to say 48 hours.
You're insanely low.
Oh, no. Okay, a week?
200 hours.
Okay.
For 4 professional domino setters.
How's that a job?
How do you become a professional
Did
domino
one of them
setter?
get like this close and actually knock them over? Is that what happened?
I would do
This is
that.
like Tyler's grandma that gets to veto kids' names.
Yeah.
How do you get these jobs?
I mean, that sounds great if we're being honest.
I want that job. I want that job so bad.
You want to be a professional domino setter?
No. The kid named Vitor.
Okay.
Oh, I'd be down to be a domino setter.
I wouldn't. No, absolutely not. Because the first time someone knocks it over, I'm
getting paid twice, dog.
You can write that in your contract.
Well, yeah, of course I write it in my contract.
But
I'm
yeah,
a professional domino setter. I'm not an amateur.
200 hours.
That's what they say. That's alleged according to the film.
I don't buy it.
it looked cool, but it was pointless.
It's insanely pointless. But what's not pointless is that he's preparing for his death and he's going to go down the tube and meet with Creedy. And this scene friggin' rules.
Yeah.
It is a like 13-year-old's dream. It's way too over the top. Bullet time knives, but it's awesome.
The climax of this movie is, I think, what really does save it.
So
in a number of ways.
He meets they have the Chancellor Sutler bagged, tagged, ready to be executed. And he's like, well,
yeah, Creedy turned
well.
on him quick.
I do love when he hands him the rose and he's like, a farewell gift, a rose for everything you've done, everything you might have done, and the only thing that you have left. And obviously I'm 1/1000% of what Hugo Weaving's gravitas is. But it goes back to your point, Ben, that there's a lot of talk of what you did, what you might have done, and what's left to do. That's a really recurring process in the movie.
The only thing that anybody can be judged on is what you actually have done. Anything that you have done, people don't get to pass judgment on what we might do. They might not like episode 11 of this show, but they can't judge episode 50 yet. We haven't had it.
Yeah. Well, what you can do is judge Creedy and his henchmen, who immediately then say, take off your mask. And he
Well,
goes,
I do like that Sutler's just a weeping, whiny little bitch at the
Oh,
end.
God,
It's just like,
horrible.
oh, God, don't kill me.
It's like Bill Paxton in True Lies.
Yeah.
oh,
Actually,
man,
he
come
is.
on, please. I have a tiny dick. Don't do it, man. I'm sorry.
I got a little dig.
Did you kill a man who pissed himself?
I love True Lies so much.
And I think it's important, too, that V isn't the one who even kills Sutler.
No, yes, Creedy did.
Creedy does it. He doesn't even have him. He just goes,
Nels is right. He turns real quick.
Yeah.
he goes, disgusting, and executes him from like a foot away. At this point is when Creedy, because their deal is that he'll turn himself in. He goes, take off your mask. He's like, no. He's like, take off your mask. And he orders two guys to walk over. They immediately get diced up into pieces. And he goes, all right, all of you. And they just start laying into him, emptying their clips into him. V is obviously super messed up. But at this point, we do know he has a little bit of superhuman strength. All we do know is that no matter what, he's going to finish his idealism because he is a character solely about finishing
That's his whole
goal.
purpose.
And he apparently had like a piece of iron or something. As
He had like a
bulletproof
suit of
vest.
armor,
Yeah.
which looked like it would have been like pierced by like the fork.
And
to me.
Is it at this point that the hat falls off and he's just there in the mask with the wig?
Yes.
In the whole movie, up to that point, I did not think V ever looked ridiculous.
Without the hat, it looks weird.
When
right?
his hat is off, that's the stuff of nightmares. That is creepy as crap.
What was just like the Prince Valiant haircut and the mask?
Yes, he looks like a taller Lord Farquaad.
He has that bunch when he's just like chilling in the lair.
Well,
And when
maybe I didn't.
He's like
clock it.
fencing the suit of armor. He doesn't have a hat.
Maybe I didn't clock it until now.
Yeah.
But without the hat, he is so unnerving looking.
I'm drawn again in this moment to Hugo Weaving's spectacular ability to show depth with only lines and an unmoving figure. When he's like barely moving on the ground, the guy's like, you're just like me. You don't want to go down. Creedy's talking. He's like, you're not going to beg for your life. And he's like, and it's such a cheesy line. Again, it's like a 13-year-old wrote this line, but he's like, the only thing we have in common, Mr. Creedy, is that we're both about to die. And in any other movie, I think that's so cheesy, but Hugo Weaving just delivers and conveys emotions in depth without face moving, acting, hands, anything. He does kill them all. Go ahead.
It's just, I mean, do you think it's more terrifying of or more imposing of a character when you can't see the emotions of the face?
Yes.
From like a victim.
That's why Michael Myers is scary.
Well, I mean, you think of anything like Michael Myers, Leatherface, Ghostface, V,
Jason. Yeah.
Jason, all of that I think makes it that much more terrifying. But it is different with this because V talks
Yeah. He's the main character.
A lot.
He's tied for the main
a
character.
lot. Yeah, he does talk a lot.
So he limps back to the train. He is
Mortally
dying,
wounded, yeah.
like for sure. We all know he's dying. He makes it back to the train. He dies in Evie's arms in my least favorite scene in the entire movie, where she kisses his mask as they kind of like confess to each other their love for like the revolution. Finch, the general inspector, Stephen Ray, catches them at this moment, but sees the dead V. And I love this line when he goes, who was he? And Evie looks at him as he still has a gun on Evie, and she starts the train and steps off knowing he's not going to do anything. And it's like, he was all of us. And as the train's moving, you also see the descent of tens of thousands of Britannians descending upon Parliament in mass. The cops doing nothing, shocked in their faces. You just see
Can't
a
do
wave of people.
They can't do anything.
And it literally looks like a wave because of their capes too. And they engulf them, surround them, go going. As the Parliament blows up, again to Tchaikovsky's 1812 overture, you see them all start taking off their masks. And you see Dietrich, you see Valerie Page, you see her partner, you see the little girl who was killed. And again, I'm brought back to like, behind this mask, there is more than flesh. Behind this mask, there are ideas, and our ideas are bulletproof. I love that the ending showed people taking off their masks because they're a unified revolution at that point. They're not individuals. They're all people who took part in that revolution, and therefore they're not dead because their impact is still there. The building is blowing up. You see them all looking on. We cut to credits. That is V for Vendetta.
It's a wild ride.
It is a ride.
I I know I said this to you guys before we turned the mics on. I think I liked it less this time than the first time I saw it.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that has to do with where the world is now versus where it was in 2006. I'm sure that has something to do with it. You don't want to watch a mirror, but
Yeah. I mean, fair.
yeah. And I think that's part of it. I do think V's character is a tad bit over the top, and I think he has to be, but it takes me out of some of the scenes with how over the top his character is, because I was trying to put myself in Natalie Portman's position in a lot of these scenes, and I'm thinking to myself, I would be so tempted to be like, hey man, like 5 minutes, can you just shut up? Like, I just 5 minutes apiece.
Yeah.
I get what you're about. I'm with you. I agree with you. I just need you to shut
Dude, I get it. We're on the same page. I've also had a rough day.
Yeah, that's exactly. Like, you put your head in your hands and you're like, if you would just shut up for 5 minutes, we have some peace and then we can get back to it. But right now, I need you to stop.
It did fine commercially. It made its budget and some.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't a smash hit. I think them delaying it 6 months really sucked. I would have definitely delayed it just a solid calendar year to the next November 5th.
We've had that discussion with a couple of the movies we've done. And it's like, you guys just so eager to get these out,
And also
without being strategic.
from like February to April, I feel like is when movie theater releases go to die. It's by far the worst season. It's by far the least viewership. So just delay it. If you can't do it November for Thanksgiving and everything in 2005, do it Thanksgiving, November 2006, even though it'd be a Sunday as opposed to a Saturday. Regardless, it did well commercially. It made its money. It made plenty. It made much more money off DVD sales, which why I think it's kind of a perfect movie for this podcast in terms of it's a movie that people probably didn't see on release, but did see afterwards when they're like, oh, I heard that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And they watched it, but it's not necessarily a movie that you're going to watch a lot. So I think it's a movie that you're going to watch and then say, man, I haven't seen V for Vendetta in forever. I wonder how that holds up. And to me, I think like a lot of movies we've covered on this pod, it does hold up a little bit better. But that's just because it's subjective. It is more relevant now than it was in 2006.
I agree.
But it's probably harder to watch now than it was in 2006. 2006, you could say, this is outlandish, this is outrageous. It's kind of fun, but it's a little ridiculous. Now you're going to watch it and say, well, shit. It's still a little outlandish and the characters are outrageous, but
It's not that far off.
propaganda-wise, like we are limiting people who go to the White House. We are literally like suing news organizations. The term fake news exists for a reason.
We're starting to hear rumblings that they're going to overturn gay marriage.
We do. We've already overturned Roe v. Wade after every single judge who was sworn in swore they would not do it.
Oh, you mean this administration lied?
We have already experienced a secret police on the streets of America with government sanctioned executions. Come at me in the comments. I'm sorry to say it. We told you this would be a Polycharts episode.
No, we're not here to listen to your crappy takes.
That's what's happening.
Miss us with that crap. Stay off our page if that's what you have to say.
And I think it's more relevant now. It's not a fun watch like it was in 2006. And in that sense, I think it's aged poorly because I had more fun with it when I was 16 or 15.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Than I do when I'm 35.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you know anyone who this is their favorite movie?
I mean, I haven't talked with anyone about this movie in probably a decade.
Do you know anyone whose favorite movie is 300?
No, definitely not.
Okay. I know at least one person whose favorite movie is 300, and I know at least one person whose favorite movie is V for Vendetta. And what I can draw in conclusion, with the very little data that I have, is the Venn diagram of people whose favorite movie is one of those two, and the worst people you've ever met is a circle. So all that to say, I don't want to like this movie because of I think the reasons people like it are the wrong reasons.
Yep.
I think it is a very tough watch now in today's society. I think it is an incredibly important movie to watch if you have the critical thinking skills to apply what you're watching to reality and not just say, well, that was a fun 2 hours. Yay, let's get ice cream. You have to look at a movie like this with reality in your mind. And not every movie has to be like that.
You're right on the money with it critically. It's very mixed critically. Most of the negative ones came from across the pond, which I kind of get. I mean, Your Country is the face of the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't think Portman's accent did them any favors.
I really didn't know she wasn't British.
But it was overall hailed as a pretty good movie, if not outlandish at the time. So I think we're already kind of there. With all that being said,
should we talk about how the Guy Fawkes masks have kind of symbolized the anti-establishment, like the
Anonymous still
uses it. Yeah. It is very funny. I think Warner Brothers owns that.
They get a trademark. They
Oh,
get
do they
money
really?
every time
Yeah.
it's sold.
That's
so it's very
hilarious.
funny that people buy it as sort of this anti-establishment thing, and all the money goes right in the giant corporation's pocket.
Which it didn't. Who just bought WB? Was it
I don't know.
Paramount?
Something like that.
or vice versa, or some shit?
Comcast, who knows?
It's all going to be one conglomeration
In a
pretty
few
soon.
years, yeah.
And we're going to go back to Kibale.
Well, I want to know, what did you like? What did you dislike? What did you feel ambivalent about this movie? Would you recommend it to our listeners if they haven't seen it in forever? And most importantly, Ben Nels, on a scale of 1 to 5 eggies in a holes.
Now,
I
what I thought you would pick.
I looked it up. It's not eggies in a hole. It is eggy in a holes. And it's not like attorneys generals. It
It's
is
the
only
stupidest thing I've ever heard.
it's only plural in the holes, which is why I picked it, because I want to say it 15 times.
There's only one hole.
But there's multiple pieces. So
Is
if there's 5,
Is it because there's two sides to the hole?
no, but if there's 5 pieces of bread and they each have a hole, there are multiple
The
holes.
British got to be weird with everything.
It's Tuesday, isn't it?
Regardless, I want to hear y'all's thoughts and then rate it on a scale of 1 to 5. Eggy in a holes.
Okay.
Nels, kick us off.
All right. As a first time watcher, obviously there's a lot of parallels between that movie and what's happening today. So I wasn't able to put it in so much of the context of 2006, where it might have been a little bit more outlandish. It is pretty heavy handed with this message. There are a couple of things where you're kind of like rolling your eyes, like the domino thing. Like, all right, that looks cool, but like, what?
Why? It's
Why
just
would
for
he
his
do this?
pleasure.
Yeah, there's nobody there. Very well acted. A lot of great action scenes. I love those. The Wachowskis are top
They're
notch
great.
as far
God,
as
they're
that goes.
so
Yeah, they're great.
And they only did the screenplay.
Yeah. As well, I recommend it. I'm with Ben. If I think you'll be able to connect the dots on it correctly, I would recommend it. As far as a rewatch, probably not, because it's not really a lighthearted, yay, everything's great movie in today's day and age. So overall, I will give it 3.5 eggy
Yes.
in the holes.
There
Is
you
that
go.
correct?
Yeah, that's
You're never going to get this right.
singular eggy, plural holes.
Yes.
Many holes. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. The action's fun. I like, I like movies where you're taking out, evil and corrupt establishments, especially if you're killing pedophiles. I'm down with that. The message is really heavy-handed. Like, we got it. We have it in the first 5 minutes, and yet it's almost like they need to keep telling you for some reason that, hey, by the way, we don't like this and we're against it, right? We need to just making sure you're still with me. That I don't like. I don't like being repetitively told what I'm supposed to care about in a movie. I feel like that's the audience's job. The audience is supposed to decide what they care about and not be told what to care about. That being said, there's a lot that I don't like about it. It's a little cheesy. It's a little campy, which is odd to see at this time period, 2006. The action movies had kind of taken a turn post 2000, I think. And you didn't see as many that were very geared towards 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old boys. I feel like that is the demographic of this movie. Even though the message is very adult and very intellectual, I feel like the movie itself, very similar to, it gives me the vibe of like Face Off in the way that it's shot.
Oh God, the John Woo movie?
Yeah. Put this up against any John Woo movie. I feel like the aesthetic, the cinematography, the way it's shot, the way it's mixed, it's very similar. And while they're fun and fine, are they ever going to be ones that I run back to watch? Not really. I like Natalie Portman's performance. I could have done with a less V. It's not a bad movie. I encourage people to watch it. I think it's worth a watch. I really do think you should watch it with some critical thinking and open eyes and say, okay, this really does feel like something I need to pay attention to. Even if you're not super tuned into what's going on, you really should be, first of all. And you should be able to apply what you're watching to real life. That all being said, it's a fine movie. It's not bad. I don't hate it. Everyone should see it at least once. I'm going to go 3.2 eggy in a holes out of 5.
I agree with what a lot of y'all said. I personally think this movie holds up remarkably well. I think almost too well, to the point where I'm uncomfortable at times watching it. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's a good thing at times. There are definitely problems with it. I think it's too heavy-handed. I think it spoon feeds you. I think it's a massive movie in its subject matter. And I get why you have to at times spoon feed the audience, because if it's trying to play for the mass, then at times you're going to have to make things heavy-handed. I strongly disliked the relationship between Evie and V. I thought that was wholly unnecessary. I thought they could have made them mentor and mentee, or revolutionary and revolutionary mentee,
or mento.
Yeah. Or the fresh maker. I did not like the kiss on the mask. And I get that all of that happens in the graphic novel, much more so than it actually happens in the movie. I'm glad they toned that back. I would have done with even more toning it back. That really bothered me. I did not like when he kind of confessed his love at the end. I didn't like when she kissed him. That seemed weird. I thought the special effects were awesome. I thought that the plot was smart enough, even though it was spoon-fed. It is very memorable to me. It is very quotable to me. And I think it's very inspirational. It's the kind of movie where if you watch it, I find myself thinking about it a few days later. I think that the 2006 dystopian thriller V for Vendetta, if you haven't seen that movie in forever, I highly encourage you to go back and watch it. It is long. I think it does well with its time length.
Yeah, we actually never talked about that. We usually talk about it when something goes too long.
2 hours, 10 minutes as well. It's maybe 2:11.
That's just as long as what women want.
2 hour 10. It's 1 minute shorter than what women want. But I think that you couldn't really cut a lot. I liked watching it. I think it's powerful to watch. I'm going to go right there with Nels. I'm going to give it 3.5 eggy in a holes out of 5.
So you can't screw
eggy in a holes. Oh man, I'm sweating beads over here.
In a holes.
But no, I enjoyed this movie a lot. I think it holds up. Watch it.
Excellent.
Well, that's all for this week. Join us next week for a movie that is undetermined at this point. We have not decided.
No.
Maybe it'll be The Truman Show to bother Ben. Maybe it'll be
something.
The Sister
other.
Act 2, 3,
Hit
Black
it.
and Habit. We stole the DVD from corporate.
Yeah. Hit us up on our socials. Let us know if you want us to talk about something. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're not on Twitter.
If you have a favorite year,
TikTok.
say, you know what? I love all the movies of this year. Choose one of those. We'll do it.
Or give us a movie suggestion.
Yeah. HSTIF, HStiff, the HStiff podcast
At gmail.com.
at gmail.com. At
Thanks
Instagram, at Facebook.
Yep.
For listening.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.